engineer, okay? We're thinking about the conceptual model within it. So I'm going to show it just for that one, but behind the nice pictures is the real design, okay? Like the truck and trailer zone, the truck zone, the pyro, okay, design for that, and then the components of each one, okay? Like they come in the circulation road, they go in the buffer zone, they go in the movement zone, the PI switch, movement zone, circulation, go back, or they get into the parking and service zone in there. We do the block layout style and the virtual prototyping of it, okay, like I've shown in there. And now it's just a matter of weeks, but a few weeks later, I could have shown you a real working simulation. We have simulation coming in that will show it at this level of nice looking, but having it really, the operation looks at this performance statistics and so on and so on. That was the simplest way. Another project we did, it was in France, where we look now at the hub between, okay. This is containers now, not just the trailers, okay? Containers, okay, that are in and out. We have a train getting in, because it's going to have 30 wagons in there, full of containers, and within half an hour, okay, all the containers are going to be out, on their truck departing, okay, and having gone, or ready to get into a next train coming in. And all the containers that are necessary to get in will be boarded on the train and gone, okay? So that was a simulation. What we're trying to get are this kind of performance specs, okay, in there. What I've shown for trucks and route, we can have with water here. We're showing a new style of ports, okay, that's physical internet oriented. Have a lot of interaction with the ASRS community and all that. So how can we rethink our storage systems, our distribution systems now to take advantage of this kind of features? Okay. Now I'm going to go through fast some of the other features. The notion we mentioned is that we're going to exploit smart network containers embedding smart objects. So the notion of Internet of Things is completely embedded in what we're talking about here. We're going to work a lot with deploying capability certification, so making sure that you're Pi enabled, you're Pi certified in there, and also a lot of open performance monitoring, so that you know that in the last 6 days, okay, here was your average performance in terms of throughputs, reliability of service, etc., as you keep going. Okay? As people will know that we're just going to deal with containers with modular size, they're going to begin to design their products to fit such dimensions. So we're going to be much more prone to using space correctly. And so there are many things you can read about those stuff. We're going to try to understand that it's normally much easier to move information rather than material. So the notion is to try to send as much as possible the knowledge, the information, the specs, how to do it, okay? Then have the local materials used, use local realizers, okay? So that they're going to make the products, and you're going to ship only the critical parts that cannot be done at that particular location. So try to do that as much as possible. Stimulate business model innovation, that's what we mentioned earlier. Overall, what we're talking is what will be the Amazon, eBay, Google of this world, okay, in there. And are the manufacturers, distributors, retailers, transporters, logistics providers, solution providers going to be evolving their revenue model, their business model, so as to best exploit the growing physical internet? So, like remunerating the players, I'm not going into the details, but that's part of the picture. And very important also is that now that we have an overarching vision and framework, okay, now we can begin to think about new types of infrastructure. Okay? Why not things that are being proposed right now? And I'm not inventing that, okay? There are people trying to propose that, but it's disconnected from the rest. So they have like pipelines, but for cargo, okay? They have like little metros, okay, just for freight, okay? All kind of things that you can dream of that is now enabled by this new way of doing things. So hopefully within this 13 feature presentation, you can get a better way what we're talking about. But obviously, you can read the material. We've got plenty of material you can read for it. In 1 or 2 minutes, this is obviously not something that's going to happen in the year, okay? But we feel that there's a need for a big vision, the same way they have the information highway, the internet vision, so that this way people can know where we're driving toward, okay? And then contribute in there. There's going to be a need for a bunch of research, a bunch of development, a bunch of feasibility studies, a demonstration project, pilots, implementation from all kinds of players across the world. Okay? It's not going to be a big bang. Don't think about that. We're not going to wake up tomorrow with the physical internet. Okay? It's going to be growing, beginning to think about ways I can use the concept, but I can do it tomorrow. Okay? There are things we can do tomorrow with this. Okay? Not the full roadmap, but a given way. Okay? Tomorrow, next month, next year, and keep going like that. Okay? And there, so I won't go into details. And the idea is that what I've proposed is just the basic of the vision. There's a lot still to be fleshed out, to be analyzed, to be questioned, to be challenged, and so on. And there's also a lot of collaboration between academia, industry, and governments across localities. What is very refreshing for me, I've presented that stuff to thousands of people now from all kinds of venue, industry, governments, and so on. And right now we have over 20 very nice companies involved in our projects, okay, from the Walmarts of this world, okay, to smaller manufacturing companies that sell through the internet, okay. We are talking with transporters, third-party logistics, all kinds of things like that, talking with countries, okay, talking with cities and all that, and we have very nice input from many of them. So you are going to be part of this picture. Okay, the first, as a teacher, is going to show where this is heading. If you thought that material handling was a dead end, like a sidewalk that you'd been condemned to teach material handling, I say, well, maybe you can think again that it was not such a dead end. There's a lot of potential in there. You can be contributing also. You're more than just teacher. You're researchers, you're connectors, you're all kind of facilitators. So you can make things happen. So you can be part of the game or watching it. It's depending on what you want to do. You're welcome. This is an open innovation initiative. So from that, I'll entertain any questions. Yes.
The current palette unitized issue between the Asian, the North American, and the European palette, and that battle at the ISO level that you have, that's just one barrier to what you were talking about, these modular. And then you throw on top of that your example of the Spanish and French rail system from a country's strategic security. If you globalize and unitize with one system, how do you overcome those threats from national security to other issues that people aren't willing to give up because of the impact of changing a high-troll conveyor system to a TGW conveyor system? Who wins, who loses?
So you hit on partly on one of the biggest aspects, okay, is people's mental model. Okay? The biggest hurdle for that is not technology. There's nothing in there that is science fiction. Everything I've shown, every single line I've taught, okay, could be done within a decade easily. Easily. Okay? The problem is the business people, the people from industry, people from governments, okay, that are taking these decisions. Now, like the conflicts between the palettes, well, I may solve it, okay, because the palette as we know it is not part of this. I'm not telling you there's not going to be palettes, but as we know it now, is not necessarily there. Okay? So all that conflict just melts away. Okay? It's going to take another form, okay, definitely. Now, for the security issue, okay, national security, well, two things. Okay, if it becomes a world standard, that's in an open. I'm not telling that only the U.S. is going to make them and so on. No, it's completely open in there. So there is part that is nice. Okay. The other aspect on the security, the problem I always had at the beginning was that, well, there could be drugs, there could be explosive, there could be human beings in those containers. okay? So we have to understand that they're gonna be needing screening, okay, issues, and the idea is that you can screen, seal, okay, at one point, and then monitor all the way as it goes through the physical internet, get back to you, so you're safe that it's gonna be okay. But obviously, all your points are very important, okay? So they'll have to be tackled. But is it enough of a problem as compared to the global unsustainability we're talking about, okay? And my position is, this is just human relations and business, and this is a real problem, okay? So this has to adapt, okay? And let's adapt this, okay, what we're proposing, make sure this is solved right, but let us not use that as a reason for not moving ahead. Yeah.
Isn't that thing is actually happening on a smaller scale with companies, shipping companies like UPS and
You got a right point, okay? Because I was compressed on time, because normally I spend time, I said, in practice, okay, the two places where I see the most what I'm talking about are on the big size with the maritime cargo containers, okay? That works not exactly like that, but it's going that direction. And the other side is with the UPS, FedEx, DHL of this world, okay? And in both cases, they have very well-defined set of containers they're dealing with, okay? And that's just what they want to deal with. And if you deal with something else, they're going to charge you like crazy, okay? And I've got examples. Okay? So, you could example.
But it's a comment on that, because NEST, the world's biggest provider of contract shipping, the CEO has said that only 50% of the standard industrial containers, which is a modern list, only 50% of those are actually unloaded on time. So if it doesn't happen now, why would your system be more efficient?
Because now, for example, and this is a big question, okay? I could spend an hour talking about it, okay? But I'll try to be very fast to the point, okay? Because now, for example, if I'm a port, okay? Where is it posted that I'm late 80% of the time? Is it posted anywhere? If it be posted big like that, okay? 20% on-time delivery, okay? I bet you that within a few months, okay, they'd be climbing to 75, 80, and they'd be fighting for 95, etc. That one be 99, and so on. It's completely even. It's part of the game, and it's the way it goes, and all that. We're changing the process, the protocols. We're changing the ways. It's not just physical stuff. Okay, it's a physical, it's digital support, and it's all the processes, the contracts associated with it.
You're still going to have the major ports. You're still going to have the major airports. So ports, airports. You're talking of the internet works because it's disaggregated.
Yeah, but no. At the beginning, I was kind of thinking with you, okay? But look, go on the web, okay, and try to find pictures, okay, about the global underlying network that supports your internet. You'll see that it looks very much like our shipping lanes and so on. You'll see it's not as distributed when you go intercontinental. Okay? Within a continent, it's pretty open, and for us also. When we go intercontinental, obviously, ports, okay, and ports will be the equivalent of one fiber optic lane, okay, and there are not that many across the world, okay, so we have the same kind of issues. It's not as holistically distributed and as we think, okay, no, it's very practical, okay, so, and we can get on that.
Ben, you didn't disappoint me. I scheduled him purposefully at the end of the formal program because I knew he'd leave us with a lot to chew on over the coming future and to get us inspired about that this whole field is very artful and there's a lot more painters needed out there, right?
Yep.
To create their own art. So thank you